A cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop. Before you get booked up, head over to 631 North Carrollton, right off Orleans, to Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop. Off the books, Tubby & Coo's is a nerd mecca for books, board games, and geeky t-shirts. So book it over to Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop at 631 North Carrollton. If you don't want to do it by the book, use their free Wi-Fi and check their stock at tubbyandcoos.com. Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, where it's all...
Kasha's Bazaar, located at 5727 Jesson Highway, across from Red, White, and Blue. Geeky collectibles and more. Find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Kasha's Bazaar. Kasha's Bazaar, 5727 Jesson Highway, the Unflea Market.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com/shop and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com/shop.
When you're in need of pain relief, come to Need It Relief Massage Therapy. Kat is an experienced licensed massage therapist. Check out her website and book your session online now at massagetherapykm.com. Need It Relief Massage Therapy for some much needed relief.
Hey there, Gulf Coast. Hattiesburg's only comic book and pop culture convention, Southern Geek Fest, is coming May 20th and the 21st to the Forest County Multipurpose Center. 2 days of comic books, cosplay, media guests, authors, vendors, and more. Southern Geek Fest has a huge lineup of guests, including Peyton Witch from Stranger Things and Don Teams from The Walking Dead. For tickets and more information, go to southerngeekfest.com. Southern Geek Fest. We'll see you there.
Resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Heard live on News Talk 99.5 WRNO and the iHeartRadio app. Here are your hosts, Brian Held and D. Squared.
Good evening. This is The Week in Geek, your source for science fiction and pop culture news that is trending now. I'm your host, D Squared, with
Brian Held.
Brian Held. How the hell are you, buddy?
I am fantastic, sir.
Are you really?
Yeah, dude, I did a Whovian-themed wedding yesterday. I officiated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you make money doing it?
I made a couple dollars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you. I thought you would just do that gratis because you're such a nice guy. You actually charge somebody? Shame on you, sir.
What?
Shame. I got nothing better. Mm-hmm. All right, you ready to jump into top nerd news?
You want to lay out the show?
Oh, wow. See, that's why you're paid the big bucks, buddy.
Exactly.
All right,
exactly.
What's going on today? I don't even know.
Well, first we're going to do top nerd news, and then we have an in-studio guest, Miss Claudia Gray, New York Times bestselling author. She's going to hang out with us for a bit.
Sweet.
And then we got Skungy's Pick of the Week and This Week in Geek History.
That's right. That's how we always wrap up the show.
Yeah, I know.
But now can we do top nerd news?
Yes, sir.
Can I?
And now, your top nerd news stories from around the world. Brought to you by Kasha's Bazaar. Find them at 5727 Jefferson Highway. And now, our top nerd news stories.
All right, Brian. So I guess let's get straight to it, man. We got what's our leading story?
So about a week ago, we saw an article pop up about The Walking Dead and many other shows that could be seriously affected by the Writers Guild of America potential strike. And there's been a lot of updates since that initially dropped, and it looks like tomorrow we're going to find out some, decision if they're going to approve for a strike, and it would be, I believe, May 1st, May 5th, somewhere around there, where it would go into effect. But this could be very serious, man.
Yeah, I mean, what really, stopped me in my tracks was that it's The Walking Dead. That's we might not get the rest of the season. Now, the first half of the season is already in the books, and I'm not sure if they've started filming yet. But the last half of the season, because they always take that fall break, which annoys the loving hell out of me.
Right.
Don't know why they do it, but they do it. So we're going to be missing a lot of that. Now, it's not just The Walking Dead that's going to be affected. Immediately right out the gate, all the late-night comedy shows.
Yeah, talk shows, yeah.
We're going to get nothing but, rehashed reruns.
Right, and Saturday Night Live, which has gotten a recent surge in popularity due to all the recent political mess that's been happening. That's going to kind of go off the air.
But closer to home, the thing that most people has, it's caused a lot of strife is Star Trek Discovery. So that the new TV show that's supposed to be on CBS, but it's not really on CBS because you can watch the first episode, but if you want more, just like crack, you got to pay for it.
Well, right.
First hit's always free.
Right. Well,
Bastards.
it may not happen, or at least when we want it.
Well, the last writer's strike lasted, almost a year? November of 2007 to February of 2008. And that's the one that really kind of messed up Breaking Bad. It was supposed to be 9 episodes in the first season. It was only 7. And just a lot of stuff. I mean, the biggest thing that people notice right out the gate is always the late-night talk shows. So that's the biggest thing that people notice.
The biggest question is why. Do you know why, Dave? Do you know why these guys want to strike?
I mean, I'm going to assume that they want a raise.
Well, it's not just a raise. You see, the dynamic of television that we get nowadays has completely changed. Television shows used to have, 22 episodes in a series.
Yeah.
Now it's 12 or 10 or 8 in some cases.
True.
Right? So these guys get paid per episode. If a series has less episodes, they get paid less.
Oh, my God. Diabolical.
Well, not just that, but they're also increasing the time in which they take to write an episode. So before, maybe they had a week or two. Now they're doing 3 to 4 weeks to write an episode. Now they're getting paid less for spending more time.
I got it, Brian.
Okay.
I got it.
What?
I got it. So what we do is we go, let's resolve the writer's strike for everybody right now, and we will save so many problems in the future. I will go out to Los Angeles and talk to the writers and say, put in your contract, demand $1 million anytime somebody wants to reboot a movie. If you got to write that rebooted script, $1 million just straight out the gate. Just if you want me to type in the beginning, pay me. So then we'll get new content and none of this rebooted crap. I'm brilliant.
I have nothing for that. I mean, it's brilliant, Dave.
Thank you. That's what I freaking thought.
But in all seriousness, the guys there's also problems with their health fund that, these productions fund, and that fund is about to go bankrupt. It may not last past 2020. So there's some very serious issues on the table.
Somebody's embezzling somewhere.
Well, but you know who's the biggest winners? All the streaming services.
Oh, because they don't have pay writer. They don't have guild writers.
Well, it's not that they don't have guild writers. It's that the dynamic is different. With traditional television, those guys not only got paid when the episode aired, but they also got paid for syndication.
How's that going to affect us, though, Brian? I mean, who's going to write our scripts?
Well, the Brits.
the Brits?
Yeah, because they don't have the same union, dynamic. And
I don't get British humor. I just don't get it.
But British television is so much superior to American television, honestly.
God. You know what? That reminds me of Captain America just going to punch Winston Churchill.
Oh.
Can he? Can he punch? Wait, who did he punch?
He punched Hitler.
Okay, so that leads me to our next topic, Brian.
Right.
They're making, Captain America, is he only, it's revealed that he was a Hydra agent. They're doubling down now on it, Brian.
So this week, Secret Empire issue 0 came out.
I'm going to go buy it. I meant to go buy it today.
I already picked up a copy from our local friendly comic book shop.
Do you have it with you?
I do not have it with me, no. It's at the house. It's
useless.
bagged and
You're
board.
Dead to me.
What are you talking about? I don't want to get it messed up.
All right, fine.
So, anyway, yes, you're right. They're doubling down on the fact that Captain America is a fascist and has always been. Right.
All right, hold on. Stop throwing that word around.
What?
They're not saying he's a fascist. They're saying he's a sleeper Hydra agent. Don't go getting confused and calling Cap a fascist.
Well,
he's just a Hydra agent.
Okay. Well,
I'm just saying.
But Hydra is fascist.
No, it's not. Hydra's bent on world domination. That's not fascism. Fascism is just people telling you what the rules are going to be. I mean, Hydra, they're not. It's not. Doesn't matter what people think. It's Hydra.
Dave, you have gone down. Oh, Our guest
Claudia,
wants to add something.
You got something, Claudia?
Yeah, I'm thinking Dave would have done real well in Vichy, France.
Oui. I would have. My last name's Ducorbier. What can I say? Retreat or join, I'm going to join. I'm a joiner.
Oh, yeah, right.
I think that's what happened to that kid in The Sound of Music, Rolf. He was a joiner.
Right. But no, in all seriousness, basically, Marvel has taken and said that everything that we've known and love about Cap is actually a rewritten version of him.
All right,
and the fact that he's a Hydra agent has been the truth all along.
Right, for all the lay folks out there who've all seen Captain America, the First Avenger, I mean, he socks Hitler in the jaw, USA. And but now they're trying to say by the power of some cosmic cube that Hydra rebooted everything and caught Captain America as a kid and indoctrinated him into Hydra. Hold on, okay. I'm just relaying it to everybody. But now they're trying to say that not only was he always Hydra, that now he's
So what it is that they're actually
it's
saying,
really confusing to me, so it's messing with my head, too.
They're actually saying that the Allies used a cosmic cube during World War II and rewrote Captain America as a icon of liberty and a good guy.
Right.
And it, in fact...
The whole time he was a double agent.
The whole time he was a Hydra agent, and the Axis won the war.
So what people are pissed about is the fact that they're saying Captain America was never really Captain America, a bastion of truth and freedom in the American friggin' way, apple pie and baseball, damn it.
Yes, that is what they're saying.
So that's why people want to, burn down Marvel?
Pretty much.
So when the first time this happened, people were sending them death threats. I mean, where's the escalation now?
So what you're talking about...
Where do the fans go from here? I already threatened to kill them. I mean, somebody threatened to kill them.
Well, the death threats came during World War II, right? A year before World War II. Is that what you're referring to?
No, I'm talking about recently, like 2 months ago.
Well, yeah, I mean...
You're good. What's up, Claudia?
The state of the internet now, I'm pretty sure every creator has gotten a death threat for anything they've done
I know,
in any medium whatsoever.
But unless it's been broadcast by the national news, who cares? People threaten to kill me all the time. All right.
So, yeah, I don't know. Marvel wants everyone to see it play out, right? That's their whole deal. And a lot of fans are like, look, I'm not interested in being on that bandwagon.
All right. Let's just I'll play devil's advocate if I even know how to do that. But the thing is that all right, a lot of older comic people, we're getting older. If the comic industry is going to thrive and survive, first we need our indie comics, our regular guys that kick it up a notch.
Oh yeah.
But also, they're trying to bring in new blood. All right, so I never read the 1940s Captain America comic book. I got on the bandwagon in the early 80s.
Well, and it seems like a lot of the things that they're doing nowadays to bring in that new blood is actually repelling them.
Okay, right? Well, I see. I kind of sort of disagree with that because every time you go to the internet, you're seeing where Marvel or DC has pissed somebody off, and more people are going to try to figure this stuff out. I was like, okay, well, if I go buy a comic book, I'm going to go there and buy the comic book, and that way they're making money. Retailers are making money. The comic book industry doesn't fold up like a friggin' cheap suit. Yes, Claudia.
The thing is, like with Tumblr and other social media, young people do not actually have to buy the comic to tell what's going on with it. They communicate about this stuff. And I mean, I'm a young adult author, so I follow a lot of very teen-heavy things. They're the angriest about this. It's not the old-school fans going, oh, you changed something for me. The newer fans, the ones who came in because of the movie, because they believed in that very pure Steve Rogers, they're the angriest about this.
That's a damn good point. Well done. Now that she points that out, that kind of makes a good bit of sense because, I mean, a lot of people got on board. They got on board with Captain America, the First Avenger, and they rebooted all the comic books,
Well, and that's another thing.
So that people could join up again from ground zero where you didn't need to know the entire history of, say, like Cloak and Dagger.
Right. Well, there's a lot of people that are angry about the constant reboots, the constant crossovers that Marvel's putting out, the fact that, base comics from Marvel are $3.99 a pop, and you're having to buy an entire range just to get the whole story. There's a lot of stuff that they're not doing very well right now. So,
all right. Well, before we go hit our break and talk to Skungy, let's check in with somebody.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
The Hall of Justice, Brian. What's going on with the Hall of Justice?
So, DC has launched a new Justice League website. It's Join the League.
Tell me more.
JoinTheLeague.DCComics.com. And, of course, they're pushing for, to get more traction on the new Justice League movie that's coming out. You can go check out this website, see all new trailer type stuff and alerts and things that are coming out, games to play, all that good stuff. So I put that in there just for you, Dave.
Thanks, pal.
You're welcome.
So what happens if the writer's strike goes through? Are you going to be forced to consume DC products, you Marvel tard?
There are plenty of independent comics that I read that'll tide me over, Dave.
Yeah, we know lots of those guys. All right, Brian. So let's head off the break. All right, guys, you are listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO, your new home for Walton and Johnson. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. MobiCon is coming this Memorial Day weekend, May 26th through the 28th at the Mobile Riverview Plaza Hotel. To get your tickets now, go to mobilecomiccon.org. That's mobilecomiccon.org. MobiCon, May 26th through the 28th.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Tubby & Coos, Mid-City Bookshop at 631 North Carrollton, just off Orleans and Carrollton. Books, board games, and geeky t-shirts. Find them on the web at tubbyandcoos.com and sign up for their geekly newsletter. Tubby & Coos, more than books.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coos Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
In a New Orleans that never was and never will be, airships float high above the city while platoons of clockwork automatons patrol the streets below. In Storyville, pirates, streetwalkers, gamblers, and thieves prowl back alleys in search of their next mark. New Orleans by Gaslight, the premier anthology of locally written and locally produced steampunk poetry and fiction, all set in Victorian New Orleans. Buy it now, available in both paperback and Kindle versions at Amazon.com. New Orleans by Gaslight.
Kasha's Bazaar has an unconventional inventory for the discerning geek collector. Comic book related collectibles, vintage New Orleans items, militaria, and plenty for your mundane friends. Kasha's Bazaar, 5727 Jefferson Highway, the Unflea Market.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com/shop and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com/shop.
Hey there, Gulf Coast. Hattiesburg's only comic book and pop culture convention, Southern Geek Fest, is coming May 20th and 21st to the Forest County Multipurpose Center. 2 days of comic books, cosplay, media guests, authors, vendors, and more. Southern Geek Fest has a huge lineup of guests, including Peyton Witch from Stranger Things and Don Teams from The Walking Dead. For tickets and more information, go to southerngeekfest.com. Southern Geek Fest. We'll see you there.
This is the Week in Geek with D Squared and Brian Held.
Outstanding.
Miss any of today's show? Download the Geek podcast at WRNO.com. Here are your hosts, D Squared and Brian Held.
Welcome back, New Orleans. You're listening to the Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. This is Brian with
D Squared.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. So, you know what? You know who we got on the phone lines with us?
Our boy Skungy.
Yeah, let's do it to it.
I am not what you would call a handsome man.
Skungy's Pick of the Week is brought to you by GameStop and ThinkGeek.com.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
You might be an idiot savant.
Woohoo!
Skungy, what's shaking bacon?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you on this wonderful, beautiful day today?
Oh, my God. What, did you get your extra happy pill or something? What the hell?
I'm on vacation.
And you called us? How
Yeah.
sweet is that?
I know.
All right, what are you talking about? Let's get to it.
Today, I got two little small games today. I got the first one's called Has Been Heroes.
Has Been Heroes?
Has Been Heroes.
Okay.
It's a roguelike strategy. So I'm kind of really a cute story to it. It's there were these heroes. They used to fight for the king, and they were the king's go-to guys. And now they're older, and but the king has one last quest for them: bring his daughters to school.
What?
So that's the quest.
What kind of neighborhood do they live in?
Well, apparently a bad one, because you fight nothing but waves and waves and waves of monsters just to get these kids to school. So it's a roguelike strategy game. It's an action kind of turn-based RPG. Roguelites are really interesting because the enemies are constantly moving towards you. Think like Plants vs. Zombies, where the zombies are constantly moving towards you and you have to constantly fight them off. Well, you have the same way with this, and they're constantly moving towards you, and it's really fun because you have over 500 spells that you can get for this game and play different, combinations. But it's hard, man. Oh my God, is this game hard? I can't even get past the first level. That's
well,
hard.
I mean, maybe that's good. Maybe a game will actually challenge us and we'll get our damn money's worth. How much is it?
It's $20.
Oh, well, that's a good deal.
And
I've wasted $20 on stupider stuff.
What platforms is it on, Skungy?
It's on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and it's also available on the Nintendo Switch. So if you're lucky enough to have a Nintendo Switch, this is a really cool game because you can take it on the go, play it a little bit here and there. It's perfect for the Switch.
But it's really super difficult.
But oh my God, is it difficult? I mean, there's over 100 hours worth of gameplay in this game.
For $20, man.
That's a pretty good deal.
$20, you really can't beat that.
All right, what else you got?
The next one is something that I heard about a month and a half ago, and I've been chomping at the bit. It finally came out on Tuesday. It's called the Disney Afternoon Collection.
That sounds like Afternoon Delights?
Oh,
no?
Skyrockets. Anyway, it's DuckTales, DuckTales 2, Chippendales Rescue Rangers 1 and 2, Tailspin, and Darkwing Duck, all in one collection.
Let's
all those old
get dangerous. Yeah! All right, I'm sold. That's all I need. That's all I need.
So you get to play all those. They've been remastered. They have the original playthrough. They have kind of like a cheat mode where you can hit the bumper and it rewinds. So if you fall into a pit or something and you die, damn, but you hit the button and it rewinds it so you can go right back to where you were. There's a time attack mode. There's a boss where you just go through the boss modes, and it's $20.
Wow.
My God. Wait, let's talk to these people's sales department and see if they can talk to some of these other big companies and bring the price down a bit.
Well, no doubt.
I just dropped $78 on
what?
Oh man,
Battlefront?
No, Skungy, what was the name I was talking about?
Tom Clancy. Ghost Recon.
Ghost Recon. $80 is what I dropped over there.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't believe you spent that much.
It was for DJ.
Skungy, Disney Afternoon Collection, what are the platforms for that one?
It's going to be on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. It's a digital-only title, so you download it right to your system. But, man, I went through and I played it, and I just sat there and for an hour playing DuckTales again. It was just so much fun.
Woo-hoo.
Well, and that's how appropriate since we're getting a new DuckTales cartoon really soon.
Are we?
Exactly.
If there's a writer's strike.
Well, maybe.
Did they write all the cartoons yet?
It's already been. I think it's already been made.
Cool. All right.
The first season at least has been made.
Crisis averted.
David Tennant is Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, I know. They did a little acapella version of it too. He can carry a tune in a bucket. Good on him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he can.
All right, Skungy. Well, guess what?
Oh, it was Colonel Mustard in the study with the candlestick?
Yes, you're fired. All right, man. Talk to you next week.
Bye.
All All right, Brian. So when we come back, who are we talking to?
When we come back from this short break, we're going to be talking to Miss Claudia Gray, New York Times bestselling author. She wrote a couple of Star Wars books, but we're actually going to be talking about her newest book, Defy the Stars. So, guys, stay tuned. When we come back, we'll have all of that and more. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO, your new home for Walton and Johnson.
Good job. You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com/shop and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com/shop.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop at 631 North Carrollton, just off Orleans in Carrollton. Books, board games, and geeky t-shirts. Find them on the web at tubbyandcoos.com and sign up for their geekly newsletter. Tubby & Coo's, more than books.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Hey there, Gulf Coast! Hattiesburg's only comic book and pop culture convention, Southern Geek Fest, is coming May 20th and the 21st to the Forest County Multipurpose Center. 2 days of comic books, cosplay, media guests, authors, vendors, and more. Southern Geek Fest has a huge lineup of guests, including Peyton Witch from Stranger Things and Don Teams from The Walking Dead. For tickets and more information, go to southerngeekfest.com. Southern Geek Fest. We'll see you there.
When you're in need of pain relief, come to Need It Relief Massage Therapy. Kat is an experienced licensed massage therapist. Check out our website and book your session online now at massagetherapykm.com. Need It Relief Massage Therapy for some much needed relief.
MobiCon is coming this Memorial Day weekend, May 26th through the 28th at the Mobile Riverview Plaza Hotel. To get your tickets now, go to mobilecomiccon.org. That's mobilecomiccon.org. MobiCon, May 26th through the 28th.
Now, back to the Week in Geek with local celebrity Brian Held, hashtag LCBH. Here are your hosts, local celebrity Brian Held, and that other guy, what's his name again?
Welcome back, New Orleans. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. This is Brian with...
the guy who's going to murder the voice guy.
Oh, come on. I love the voice guy.
I'm that guy. All right, man. So let's talk to Claudia.
Yes, guys, in studio with us is New York Times bestselling author, Miss Claudia Gray. How are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
We're fantastic over here. So glad for you to come into the studio today and take your time, you know. So I wanted to kind of start out a little while ago. We got a advanced reader's copy from Del Rey of Star Wars Bloodline. And this is not what I wanted to focus on today, but I wanted to ask you, how difficult for you is it to write in another universe? I mean, it's Star Wars, right? Were there huge constraints by Lucasfilm and all that, or were you kind of had free reign? How was it?
I mean, at its core, it didn't seem that difficult to me. Star Wars came out when I was 7. So basically, I've spent my entire life asking what would it be like to be in the Star Wars universe. And then finally they were like, we'll pay you money to do this thing. You know, and of course that let me retroactively go back and go, I wasn't goofing off. It was career preparation. career preparation.
That's fantastic.
Yes. Now, of course, there are some constraints, but they help you a lot with it. I really thought when they first approached me for my first Star Wars book, which was Lost Stars, I thought, oh, they'll give me an outline and tell me what to write, which wasn't it at all. They had about a 3-line prompt, I guess you would say. And I changed 2 of the lines, and they were like, okay, that's fine. But of course, in that book, at one point, I had the Devastator, Darth Vader's flagship, in a location, and they're like, it's not there. And I was like, it's an imaginary ship in our heads. And they're like, but it isn't there. And that was the first time I'd ever had something that was writing just be wrong. You're not used to imaginary things being able to be wrong.
So was it a lot of back and forth? Like you'd write a bit, send it in,
No. I turned in an outline at the very beginning. And if there were things in the outline that looked like they might conflict with Star Wars canon, then I would go ahead and amend that. And then they look again at the end, first because you've elaborated on it, and second of all because there are always comics and video games and new things coming out. And so what seemed fine, 5 months ago may no longer be fine. You just hope it's not anything too big. So those are sort of the 2 points where they check. But it's also great because, if I'm doing my own universe, like with the Defy the Stars, I have to sit down and go, so what is the spaceship? How does it work? Etc. With Star Wars, I send an email like, what is the spaceship? And they send back, here's a picture of it. Here are the episodes of Clone Wars in which it appeared. Here are the blueprints.
And that's why I'm telling you, that's why they're canceling Rebels, so that authors like her can actually, play with it. That screenwriters can play with it more.
How much were you referencing the Wikipedia?
I checked the Wikipedia, but in the end, if it comes between trusting Wikipedia and trusting Story Group, I'm going with Story Group on that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, so you brought it up. You've written 15 books in total now, and your latest is Defy the Stars. So I actually just finished reading this today at 2 p.m.
Is the cover picture some kid flipping off the sky?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So tell me how you came to write this book.
I'm going to be totally honest. I came to write this book because the movie Prometheus angered me.
Really?
Yes.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
I like that kind of long-term anger.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even that long-term. It was fresh, hot anger when I began. New bubbling rage. I went to go see the movie, and it was, as I believe both of you are aware, not a very good movie,
right?
At all. The scientists were like, let's pick up the alien pod and put it directly in our faces while it bubbles and twitches. What could go wrong? I'll lift up my face visor.
That's a scientific method in effect, right there.
Yeah, I think they cover that in the PhD. Like lifting your visor at the correct moment. That's a critical function. But the thing was, Michael Fassbender and Noomi Rapace periodically seemed to be in a better movie that they were trying very hard to bring into existence, but the script just wouldn't let them.
Right.
He really was terrific as David 8, the android, and really walked right into that uncanny valley.
Right.
Between human and not quite. Just the little things he did with his movements I thought were very clever. And she also was there, and they didn't quite come through, but the thing that really struck me, at the very beginning, they make it clear that Noomi Rapace's character, Elizabeth Shaw, is a very religious person.
Okay.
And, of course, this was portrayed with all the subtlety and depth Hollywood usually gives this, which meant she had a cross around her neck and sometimes says, I'm a religious person. That's more or less how they do it.
Right.
But I thought that they were surely going to raise the question, because she interacted with David 8 a lot, what does a very religious person make of an artificial intelligence that clearly has emotions and thoughts and may not be 100% human, but is certainly much more than a machine? Does she think that this person or being or thing has a soul? And of course, they never asked that question at all because there were too many pods to blow up in people's faces.
Right,
they never got around to it. And I kept going back to the movie, which, just stoked my rage, but I was sort of like trying to make
a glutton for punishment, right?
Well, I'm liking her more and more.
Yeah. I've been forgiven for Vichy France, have I?
Yes.
All right. But the thing was, like, you know how it is if you're a fan, particularly if, like me, like I've written so much fan fiction, you can't even tell. Sometimes fans, we like the stuff that's a little flawed that we can figure out how to fix it.
Right.
Like sometimes we're more fascinated by that than the stuff that's absolutely perfect, because we love to think, like, how could you tinker with that? How would you have made that differently? I think it's a really fundamental fanish impulse to go to.
Yeah.
And that movie sort of awakened all of my fix-it, sort of like, what would you do? What would you do to make this better? And then finally I sort of realized, Ridley Scott was not going to come to me and say, I was so wrong.
Right.
Yeah,
Forgive me.
Please. And then I would have been like, let's talk about Exodus too. But anyway, I thought he's clearly not going to make that movie. He's not interested in asking that question about what a religious person would make of an artificial intelligence. And so I said, all right, fine, I'll do it.
Well, and so your rage has given us Defy the Stars, and I think it's incredible. I love this book. Now, there are some religious overtones to this book. How does that play in? How did you pull that into the book?
It's set about 300 years in the future, and one of the POV characters is Noemi, and she comes from a colony world, Genesis, that's trying to get its independence from Earth, and the war is not going very well. And I decided that one of the causes of the war would be a sort of a religious awakening spreading over Genesis, not in a sort of fanatical way. I think we've all seen that movie and read that book a little too often.
Right.
And it's not even any one faith, just more of a sense that you have a strong moral duty. This becomes something that people there very much believe, and they come to believe that they have this sacred duty to protect this planet from Earth, which is now becoming uninhabitable. And these people are not good stewards, so to speak. And so she feels like, no, we have to protect this world. And most of the mechs, which is what the artificial life forms are called in Defy the Stars, are truly soulless and mindless. They really have only as much intelligence as they need to do what they do. They look human, but they are not. And so she spent a lot of her young life fighting these things and killing these things. So when she encounters Abel, who is our other POV character, and a mech who is both created to be more complicated than the others and also has been trapped in this spaceship by himself for a really long time and has been forced to maybe rely on his own resources mentally and emotionally more than average, has become something much more than that. So, of course, she's been trained to try and kill this guy on sight. His programming says I should try to kill her on sight. So, it's a meet cute. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, no. And, guys, we're talking to Miss Claudia Gray, New York Times bestselling author and author of Defy the Stars. And so tell me about Abel as far as, he is the expression of the mech that you want, or the android that you wanted to see out of Prometheus, right? As far as there's more, it seems like there's more depth to him. And I get a sense of overall of enlightenment out of this entire book. So,
yeah. I don't know that I would say that was necessarily what I wanted to see in Prometheus from the mech, because I kind of felt like Michael Fassbender was the only person who doesn't get a black mark for Prometheus. Like,
all right,
he
fair.
had it. Like, do you remember there was that thing early on where he's walking through the gym and he stoops down and he picks up the basketball from the top?
Okay.
He just cups his hand over the top of it and pulls it up. And it was such a great little thing because you can do it.
Right.
But no human being's going to do that little simple thing. But I thought it was more interesting to have him be much more human than that, because he was going to be a POV character, and to get into why somebody would have made him different. Because I think a lot of times when you've seen other dramas or books about artificial intelligences gaining human capacity, it's true for all of them. In Blade Runner, which I love this movie, all the replicants have this capacity. But I thought it was really interesting to deal with Abel as a thing alone. He truly is unique. And so he is having to figure out everything for himself about who he is, what he should be.
Well, and that brings up a good point. This is a young adult novel. That's the target audience. And, of course, that means a lot of times it's a coming of age type story, and we get to see that both from the aspect of Abel and of Naomi, right? Noemi, yes. And so there's things I want to ask, but I don't want to give anything away, right? Because there's so many plot clues, but they do make it around the loop, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about the loop. Tell me how the planets work.
Yeah, the idea is that there are several colony worlds that humanity has found, and they've connected to each other through gates, which are sort of artificial wormholes, and it's more or less circular, this gate. And this was written, of course, before they found the TRAPPIST system, which, they announced about 2 weeks before this book came out. And the idea was that there aren't that many habitable worlds out there, and really Genesis is the only one that could take a full planetary population. It's more like the hundreds of thousands or a few million can manage to live on the other planets. And so they're going through these gates trying to get all of the things that they need. Noemi's big plan is to destroy the gate that would connect her world with Earth, which de facto wins the war. It's over. Once Earth can't get there any longer, she's done it. Of course, the big problem is her plan would involve Abel's destruction.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's how it opens up, right? Where, Earth is trying to seed all of these worlds, and it's just, they've like you said before, they've really messed things up.
Mm-hmm.
And Genesis is such a pristine planet. So, any final thoughts on Defy the Stars?
What? But I don't know. Am I supposed to sing the theme song now?
No.
It has 8 lyrics. It's wonderful. You'll love it. 8 verses. It's great.
All right, well, where can we get the book?
You can get the book wherever fine literature is sold. There are always signed copies at Octavia Books, but you should be able to get it at pretty much any bookstore or online book buying venue.
Yep. Yeah, I got to get my copy from Octavia Books from the book release party. It was a fantastic time.
We had a good time.
Yeah. So, and what's next on your plate?
Next on my plate, this was just announced at Star Wars Celebration last weekend, is my 3rd Star Wars novel, which is Leia, Princess of Alderaan.
Okay.
And whereas Bloodline was the story of Princess Leia about 7 years before The Force Awakens and explains how she goes from being Princess Leia to General Organa, this is set before the events of A New Hope, and it's essentially how Leia becomes involved with the rebellion as a young girl, because by A New Hope, she's 19, and she's clearly senior in that organization. And it's sort of like, how did she get involved in this? How does she gain that, not only get involved, but then gain that kind of authority? And it's been really, really fun to do. I can't really tell you any more than that yet, but that's going to come out on Force Friday, which is September 1st.
Any tie-ins to Rogue One? Or you can't say?
That is so, like, if I began to utter either a yes or no, the ceiling would drop out as Lucasfilm lawyers toting Uzis, like, rappelled down. It'd all be over. You don't want to know how my...
expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, you don't want to know how my last birthday party went. It was ugly.
Oh.
Really ugly.
Awesome. Well, Claudia, thank you so much for taking the time to come in and tell us about all these great books you're working on. And if I'm not mistaken, Defy the Stars has a follow-up you're working on, right?
Yes, I am doing edits on the follow-up, which will be out about this time next year, which is called Defy the Worlds.
I'm super excited about that. All right, guys, stay tuned. When we get back from these short commercial messages, we're going to close out the show as we always do with This Week in Geek History. Guys, you're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
MobyCon is coming this Memorial Day weekend, May 26th through the 28th at the Mobile Riverview Plaza Hotel. To get your tickets now, go to mobilecomiccon.org. That's mobilecomiccon.org. MobyCon, May 26th through the 28th.
Kasha's Bazaar, located at 5727 Jesson Highway across from Red, White, and Blue. Geeky collectibles and more. Find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Kasha's Bazaar. Kasha's Bazaar, 5727 Jesson Highway, the Unflea Market.
Tubby & Coos, Mid-City Bookshop at 631 North Carrollton, just off Orleans and Carrollton. Books, board games, and geeky t-shirts. Find them on the web at tubbyandcoos.com and sign up for their geekly newsletter. Tubby & Coos, more than books.
Hey there, Gulf Coast. Hattiesburg's only comic book and pop culture convention, Southern Geek Fest, is coming May 20th and 21st to the Forest County Multipurpose Center. 2 days of comic books, cosplay, media guests, authors, vendors, and more. Southern Geek Fest has a huge lineup of guests, including Peyton Witch from Stranger Things and Don Teams from The Walking Dead. For tickets and more information, go to southerngeekfest.com. Southern Geek Fest. We'll see you there.
In a New Orleans that never was and never will be, airships float high above the city while platoons of clockwork automatons patrol the streets below. In Storyville, pirates, streetwalkers, gamblers, and thieves prowl back alleys in search of their next mark. New Orleans by Gaslight, the premier anthology of locally written and locally produced steampunk poetry and fiction, all set in Victorian New Orleans. Buy it now, available in both paperback and Kindle versions at Amazon.com. New Orleans by Gaslight.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com/shop and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com/shop.
Now, back to the Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Yeah, you'll definitely want to tell your enemies.
Welcome back, New Orleans. You're listening to the Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. This is Brian Held with
D Squared.
All right.
Tell your frenemies.
You're so ridiculous.
Wait, I had the power of the voice guy at my command. I got more audio I just have yet to slice up yet.
Oh, God.
It's going to be a fine time, Brian Held.
Help us. Oh, man.
So, hey, Brian, you know what? I heard in the commercials, people can buy our T-shirts now?
Yeah,
That's crazy talk.
It is crazy talk, but it's on our website, twigradio.com/shop.html.
Who that? Why? You had to go ruin a good spiel with the HTML.
Well, if they only put in shop, it won't get there. So,
They'll find it.
Okay.
God, such a nerd.
Anyway. That's why we're on this show, Dave.
Oh, right.
Are you ready for some This Week in Geek History?
Sure.
This Week in Geek History.
We're sending you back to the future! Yes! Oh my God!
This Week in Geek History is brought to you by Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, read by Brian Held. Available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. This Week in Geek History.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Da-na-na, da-na-na.
All right, Dave, I've got some really good items today.
Do you really?
I do.
Did you actually crack a book on this one?
I crack a book every week on this stuff. Are you kidding me?
Sure.
I'm the only one who's prepared, Dave. All right, first item on the list, April 17th, 1397. In the court of Richard II, Chaucer recites the Canterbury Tales for the very first time. So
the entire thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they did back then. They didn't have television. Come on, Dave.
Holy crap. Did he have cue cards? Did he write it on his arm?
Who knows? Maybe he had a long sheaf of parchment.
Where did he put said sheaf of parchment? I mean,
rolled off the parapets and...
Okay. Claudia's got a thought.
Yeah, I think you have serfs and vassals unscroll it for you
there
as
you
go.
Oh,
old school teleprompter.
Oh, cool. There you go.
Yeah.
Medieval teleprompters.
Yeah, you clearly do your research.
All right, what's next?
Let's see, April 18th, 1938. Is the publication date for Action Comics #1. It's the first
Superman?
issue of the original run of the comic book series Action Comics. Features the first appearance of several comic book heroes, but most notably the Schuster and Siegel Superman.
Yeah, is that the one where he's holding up the car? Yeah. That's iconic.
It absolutely is.
So is Superman a Nazi too?
No. DC did not go that route. They sure as hell don't know how to write a freaking Boy Scout.
So maybe Marvel and DC should switch it up. They can make the Red Sun, but of course that's DC's property too. That's
right.
the USSR Superman.
Well,
but I mean, maybe they should just do that.
Look, DC is not doing so well either right now.
What you talking about, Willis?
I'm talking about the whole Batman Watchmen mashup that's been happening, and people are not necessarily happy about that either.
Who the hell gives a rat's butt?
Dude, the Watchmen is very serious stuff, man.
Yeah, no, their movie sucked.
What do you?
The movie sucked.
What about the graphic novel? What about Alan
Who cares?
Moore?
The movie sucked. That's like, look, I watched The Scarlet Letter with Demi Moore. That was an amazing piece of American cinematography.
Jeez.
Yes. Who read the book, Scarlet Letter? Come on, nobody reads that crap. All right, what's next?
We have an author in studio, and you're saying nobody reads
She's
books?
not offended yet. That means I'm not doing my job. All right,
oh,
what's
jeez.
next?
April 19th, 1965. Electronics Magazine published a paper by Gordon Moore in which he posited Moore's law regarding semiconductors. Are you familiar with this?
Science.
Right. So Moore's law states that the amount of transistors in a integrated circuit will double every. It's been moved around a little bit, but it's about every 18 months right now. And while there's been multiple times where the industry has said that we're going to see the death of Moore's law, it's held true since the 60s. It's been pretty consistent.
It's only like 50 years.
Well, still, I mean,
in the entirety of humanity, I mean, it's not even a hair's breadth.
But think about what that's saying is the fact that the Apollo 13 mission, our cell phones are more powerful than entire shuttlecraft that went up in space. I mean, it's.
But they had
all
slide
due to
rulers.
Moore's law.
They had slide rules.
They did have slide rules, yes.
That's all that matters. You got a slide ruler, you can conquer the damn galaxy.
Oh, geez.
What's next?
April 20th, 1841.
Man, you went way back.
The Murders in the Rue Morgue by Edgar Allan Poe is published in Graham's Magazine in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's widely considered to be the very first detective story.
This sounds eerily familiar. We just talked about this, I thought. The Raven?
That's a different story.
I know, but I mean, okay, fine. Poe wrote more stuff. I know.
Right.
But,
well, that's very cool. I put this one in for my wife. Because she's
a bibliophile?
Well, she's a librarian,
yeah. I know big words too, butthead. What's next?
April 21st, 1954. You're going to have a field day with this one. American psychiatrist Frederick Wortham publishes Seduction of the Innocent, in which he vilifies the influence of comic books on children. Book becomes infamous for its widely over-exaggerated anecdotal evidence of ways in which comics perverted the minds of their readers.
You're like the buzzing of flies to him.
That's what I think.
Uh-huh.
Wait, is that any relation to the guy who wrote the whole D&D thing? The hidden dungeons? What the hell was that thing called? The crazy. They made a movie of it. How the kids are going in the sewers and they're worshiping Saturn.
Well, you're
Claudia, you're on.
It's Rona Jaffe's Mazes and Monsters, starring Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Oh yes.
But and then there was Jack T. Chick who wrote Dangerous Dungeons.
That one too.
The Chick track. But no,
Chick tracks. That's it.
This guy, Frederick. It took me a second. This Frederick Wortham guy gave us essentially the Comics Code Authority. You remember those
bastards that pissed off Stan Lee?
Yeah.
Burn that man. Go find him. Where is he at?
Well,
is he still alive?
Probably not at this point.
Oh, I wanted to go punch him.
Oh, geez.
Okay.
All right. Last item on my list. You ready?
Yes.
April 23rd, 2005. The very first YouTube video is uploaded, and it shows the founder at the San Diego Zoo, and it's titled "Me at the Zoo."
Wow, so it's kind of like the guy who created Twitter. Hi, this is my first tweet.
Yes.
I'm a butthole.
Yeah, right.
So that's what they did.
Yes, Claudia.
How long was it before the first flame war broke out in the comments?
Probably immediately. Look at his tool at the zoo.
And clearly you're citing Godwin's law that says that the longer a thread goes, the higher the chance of a Nazi reference.
Although I also saw something recently that said Godwin's law has been suspended until conditions improve.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, man.
All right, you ready for celebrity birthdays?
Sure thing.
All right, on the 17th, David Bradley, who was Argus Filch in Harry Potter, and he also played the very first Doctor, the recreation of those first Doctor episode.
He's Walder Frey. He's responsible for the Red Wedding and
Right.
very, very strongly worded mail and emails to HBO.
And I hear
And
rumor
George R.R. Martin.
that we may see him again as the first Doctor in this season of Doctor Who. I'm pretty
Yeah,
excited
like for the
about that.
Christmas episode?
Maybe
Something?
before that. On the 18th, speaking of Doctor Who,
Maybe he
it's,
could kill Capaldi and come back as Doctor Who #1 and everything could go full circle. That's what's going to happen. I'm calling it now. I'm calling dibs.
Maybe you should be a writer.
That's my crazy fan theory.
I think that's kind of genius.
Always at work here.
Don't encourage
The minds
it.
of lunatics.
Yes. On the 18th, speaking of Doctor Who, it's David Tennant.
Yay!
Yes. On the 19th, Tim Curry.
Oh, my God. I love that man. I loved him in The Three Musketeers as Porthos the Pirate. No, he wasn't Porthos the Pirate. He was the
Cardinal
the
Richelieu.
Cardinal Richelieu.
Come on.
But no, the dude who played Porthos the Pirate.
He was good.
He was
I don't
good
remember
too.
his name, but yes.
He was in 3 to Tango, too.
All right.
I have a crush on him. Sorry.
No, that's cool. This sash was a gift to me from the Queen of America. There's no Queen of America. How do you know?
All right.
On the 20th, George Takei.
Hey, it's okay to be Takei.
It is okay. On the 21st, Scottish actress Michelle Gomez, who plays the new female master in Doctor Who.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I like her.
And on the
Crazy.
22nd,
I'd date her.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, my God. That's the win. He's always a Winchester to me.
He was also the comedian in the Watchmen movie, Dave.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares. All right. Now, Brian, as always, we strongly urge people to check out the Facebook page. It's facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website at twigradio.com and follow us on Twitter at Twig Radio and the Instagram's The Week in Geek. Now, Brian, how can people listen to this lovely show?
Well, guys, if you missed any part of tonight's show or you want to hear your favorite part again, you can catch us
when
on
I talked.
Spreaker.com or Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. We're on iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio app, and at WRNO.com. Yeah.
I know we're still getting used to the new digs.
are.
Growing pains, man. It's crazy.
Guys, next week.
Yeah, what do we got going on next week?
Our guest is actor Christopher Heskey. He is going to be appearing at Southern Geek Fest next month.
Sweet.
And he was in Logan and Terminator Genesis and Jurassic Park.
I liked Genesis.
Yeah.
I like Terminator Genesis.
Right. Well, you know.
And
there's no
I
accounting
know
for
I'm
your
a party
taste.
of one.
Yes.
I'm used to it. It's my lot in life.
And all the rest of the good stuff next week.
All
on the
right,
show.
man. So, yeah, that's about it, huh?
That's about it, Dave.
Okay. Claudia, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you guys. This was fun.
Defy the stars. Buy it now.
Absolutely.
Or die. All right, guys. Till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
GFL.
News Talk 99.5 WRNO FM, New Orleans, an iHeart radio station.